This segment sponsored by Fort Wayne Museum of Art. Joining me now is Amanda Shepard, who is the Vice President and COO here at the Fort Wayne Museum of Art. Hello, Amanda.
Hi, Jessica. How are you?
Good to see you. Okay, so you have such a fun exhibit happening right now, my personal favorites. So tell me about this exhibit.
So we have 300 bags from what is the world's largest handbag collection, and that collection includes 8,000 purses of all kinds.
Wow.
Rare, designer, unique, custom-made, quirky materials, funny sayings. So this collection are the personal favorites of the collector Eileen Hochberg Wood, and yes, pun intended.
Right. And so out of the 8,000 purses, let's take that in for a moment, she selected the 300 and then you curated this line. So tell me about that process.
Yes, that was a fun and I have to say very stressful spring project for me, but honestly one of the most special opportunities of my life because I love fashion. I think a lot of women do.
Right.
And handbags too. You know, we all have handbags, but do we always think of them as extensions of ourselves? I don't know.
Right.
So in curating the exhibition, I had to come up with interesting arrangements for all of the bags so that when you're going through the exhibition, you say, oh, I know why those bags are together, because they're all made of wood or metal, things like that.
Right, which, just taking a look, there's so many unique bags that are here. I just feel like it all tells a different story. So I'm so excited to walk around with you and having you share more about the different collections. But what do you feel really purses say about the individual that owns them?
Well, there's a quote in the exhibition by Eileen, and she says, look at any woman and the handbag she carries, and you will learn a lot about that woman. What she cares about, what she carries with her, what she doesn't care about if she has a small handbag, her style, her beliefs, her values, what she wants to say that day with her outfit. Sometimes a bag is just that little oomph statement at the end of your outfit.
Yeah, and I think it kind of changes over time, like where we're at in our lives. Like you said, what's most important, because I find myself now using much more smaller handbags. At the beginning, I used to think I needed everything in my purse. I'm like, why am I lugging this around? What stage are you in your handbag life?
I carry a large bag, and you've got me thinking that, do I really need to? I call it my work bag, and I never stop working. I'm a working mom, so in that bag are the things I need just for myself. There's also Band-Aids and chapsticks and wallets and cell phones and things I need to return and appointments I need to make. So it is a very stylish bag, though, I'll tell you that.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall we walk around?
Let's do it.
And learn about it? Well, let's kind of start right over here.
Sure.
What is this one all about?
Well, this is what I call the Eileen case, and these are all bags that relate specifically to Eileen Hochberg Wood, our collector. This one up here, she had custom painted by the artist Cosmas. So that is a portrait of the collector Eileen. And then, the traditional, hello, my name is name tag, and then that's her name, Eileen.
And bedazzled, I love that.
That's right. And then this is based on a 1950s toy that we'll see later on of a little doll inside a purse. So she had a doll of herself made, and then it's embedded right into that purse right there. And then a couple of lucite bags that she had made. Again, that play on words, personality.
Yeah, personality. I love this. So this is just really a tribute to her and her personal brand and her creation. Okay, awesome. Let's keep going. All right. Okay, so Amanda, I have to say, so far we haven't done the whole exhibit, but this one is my favorite.
It looks like it's your style, Jessica. So as I was saying, I had to come up with groupings of purses that had something in common, so that when you're walking through the show, you would say, oh, these are all bags that. And for this one, what I really noticed about the bags was that there was some kind of metal framing to it, or a metal grid, or a significant metal component with another material. So we have wood, we have leather, we have satin over here, and I thought aesthetically this would look great together. There's like a minimalist feeling going on, but I really liked how each of these designers blended metal with another material.
Yeah, I love it. I feel like any one of these I can just put on with this outfit and be rocking it. So yes, I love it. And then over here, what material is this?
So these are all, they're either all metal, or this one is actually a resin, which is plastic.
Okay.
So this again, all in common with their material. So majority metal pieces.
Yes, so stunning. I mean, goodness. Okay, so over here, this has a oriental feel. I love that down there.
I know, those are really beautiful. These bags are all made out of the material lucite, which is just a very kind of thick plastic material, very, just a lot of light passes through it. So can you imagine carrying a plastic bag around? But how stylish would it be? There's clear lucite, there's colored lucite, there's this solid black lucite, there's very embellished with all of the different rhinestones. Some of these are actually pretty old. That one in the back is from the 1950s. And then this one up here is contemporary 2024.
That is pretty incredible. I mean, I would have to say, if you want to be stylish at a sports event or a concert, they make you bring a clear bag.
That's right.
So this is
Get
how you
yourself
do it.
one of those bags.
Okay, so let's keep walking. Okay, so I see a little animal texture coming out here.
This is my exotic skins case.
Okay.
So if you look at the labels of each of the bags, it will tell you what the bag is made of. So down here we have alligator. Actually, all three of these are alligator. The one up here is fish skin. Can't imagine how you do that, but they figured it out. That one is very, very soft to touch. And then this is a zebra from the 1950s.
Oh.
Yes.
I love it. I mean, just exotic and fun.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Something for everyone for sure. Okay, so as we walk over here, I see some fun sayings, a little signage happening.
That is exactly what this case is about. In my plans for the show, I had fun sayings for this case. So you got it. You got it. And oh, they're graphic. They make statements. This small one right here says, "Stop staring at my handbag." And then this one here that says "Start," I thought it was kind of, a double, it actually points you somewhere, like start here and go around, and then everybody knows the LOL. And so as you go around this case, each one has kind of a cheeky saying or phrase on it.
A little double entendre.
Yes.
I love that. Okay, and then we have to stop here because I see, is this a snake skin vibe?
These are clutches. Okay. So a clutch is a very specific kind of handbag because you clutch it when you wear it, and you know that. You've had one of those before. There's no strap on it. You just kind of hold it, usually worn in the evening. So again, some of these are really unique materials, leather and wood, leather and acrylic, but just really chic.
I love it. Really opens up the imagination, really. And then this is so fun. Got a little ball.
Can you guess?
Right.
Yeah, these are my round bags. And in the curation, could this have gone to the shiny case? Of course. But I thought, how unique a round spherical bag. You don't see that very often.
Right.
I have to tell you that one of our curators, as she was unpacking the purses, she loved that one so much, she went online and bought herself her own bag.
Really?
Yeah.
Did she find this one?
That exact one. It is somewhat inexpensive.
Oh, that's a 2024.
So, yes.
Okay, so I love that you have the dates on them as well, so people can get understanding of what the vibe was in that era.
Yes, yes. Yes,
Oh,
that is
wow.
that is very important to a museum label, so you can understand that.
Yeah, so much to explore. Let's keep walking over here.
These are
Okay. Look at
these
this.
bags were bags that are made to look like everyday items. So you've got the telephone here by the designer Betsy Johnson, and this one, you can actually plug your iPhone into it and
No.
use the receiver on your actual phone.
Really?
So you could pick up a call and say, Jessica Williams speaking,
Right.
and you actually are taking a call on your purse.
Okay, that is really cool.
I know. You've
Oh,
got
I love this couch.
little couch. That's also Betsy Johnson. Little shopping cart here. Beautiful tulips, sand bucket, and then get this. You need a leather paper bag purse.
Oh yes, we need those.
We need
Everyone
those,
needs
right.
that.
Yeah.
Betsy Johnson, she's so creative.
She
I actually
is.
have a really nice laptop case that's just different
Yeah.
in black and white. I love it. Okay, let's keep going. Now I see some food. We have some
Yeah.
food items here.
Yeah, so that's exactly what this case is. Little pizza bag and these little pasta boxes here that look just like the boxes that you see in the
Right.
supermarket.
Amazing
So
quality.
these bags have senses of humor.
Yeah,
You know?
they do. So creative. And then we have a solo piece here.
That is an Oreo cookie.
Okay. Listen, you can see everything
Take
at
that
this
to the
exhibit.
take that to the movie theater and put your Oreo cookies in it.
Right. Okay, and then so now I see more of a pattern
Sure.
essence, right? So talk to me about this case.
So we're in Fort Wayne, so this is our Vera Bradley case with a couple of additions. So our collector actually has several Vera Bradley bags.
I love that.
Vera Bradley has made important and unique contributions to handbags. They're famous for those quilted bags.
Right.
We also have a 25th anniversary Vera Bradley bag.
That's
One of the
cute.
more contemporary
Yeah.
leather bags. And then I added this Lily Pulitzer and then this J bag back here because
Yeah.
I thought the fabric of those bags really worked well with the Vera
did.
Bradley, so you can see, kind of the way that designers are using fabric.
Yeah, which is super creative.
Yes.
I've never seen purses like this, so I love that you all have created this exhibit just to really explore. And oh, we got a little boutique,
Yeah.
little fashion splash.
These bags are all embroidered
Uh-huh.
and applique. So this one is really, really ornately beaded.
Wow.
That one is beaded, applique, embroidery, and then that one really beautiful machine embroidery over there.
So gorgeous. Ooh, and now we have some abstract over here.
Yes, these bags all have a bold pattern to them. It's very graphic, very bold, kind of an 80s vibe.
Yeah.
80s, 90s.
Love that. Okay, and then we'll keep going. This exhibit is so huge. So 300 bags. How many different cases do you have?
Oh gosh, I'd have to count them by hand,
Yeah.
but I would say about 40 cases.
Wow.
Yes.
So essentially, that's 40 concepts that you had to put together and,
Yes.
and just kind of,
Yes,
you know,
it is.
allow for our imagination to go wild. Okay, let's step back here for a moment because I love the dazzle of these. It's almost like little plaques.
Yes, so we are standing actually in the historical section of the exhibition, and I wasn't going to do the whole exhibition on a chronological history of the handbag because that wasn't the point of the show. But I did feel the collector does have enough significantly historically significant bags to tell kind of a story of the evolution of the handbag.
Yes.
So these are some old, these are actually the oldest bags in the exhibition. We have some bags going back to the 19th century and the 1910s, 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and on down.
Wow.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about the evolution of handbags, like a little history of how they got started.
Well, you would think that purses have always been around, but they haven't.
Yeah.
We haven't always carried bags, and it started in a couple of different places. So think of a carpet bag, like a suitcase that you would carry with you on a journey, or a trunk that you would carry. but you can't carry a trunk with you everywhere you go. So the bags get smaller as time goes on. Or we also see origins of handbags in servants for large homes. They would carry the belongings of the lord and the lady of the household, or the head housekeeper would carry the keys for the whole house, little sachet, and then that turned into something bigger, a little more functional, and it did evolve out of that purely functional, only servants carry these things, and now it's a day-to-day thing that most people carry.
Right, and it's so interesting because it's like, who decided that women have so much to carry, but men, they just need a wallet?
That's right, that's right. It's like, do my kids hand me things because I'm carrying the purse or because I'm mom? I don't know.
Oh my goodness, this is stunning. I just love the shapes of the handles.
Yeah, so this is our 70s to 80s case. And when you look at each case, you can see the era in the fashions.
Yeah.
And you go back in time a little bit.
Wow. It's so fun just to be able to guess. You give a little bingo card.
That's right, that's right.
Oh, very rustic and unique, harsher patterns.
Well, these are bags from the 2000s, and if you look at the designer, Balenciaga, very high-end brand, and behind that we have Giorgio Armani. So this bag up front actually is a bag that Kate Moss carried down the runway, but she didn't love the design as it was. This was the design that she originally carried. So because she didn't like it, Balenciaga changed the design and made it to her standards. So that was the one that got into production.
Wow, a little power there with
Yes.
the models. Okay, so let's talk a bit about, so I'm looking at this and it's just so impressive, and like you said, it took a lot of time to create, I can only imagine. And you actually had an opportunity to show this, exhibit to the actual collector, right?
I did. Eileen has become a friend. She is one of the most interesting and thoughtful and sincere collectors that I've met in my time. What I mean by sincere is that she really loves handbags because she believes that handbags tell the history of women. You can tell, why would a woman carry this? What's it for? What does it say about the time? What does it say about what she wants to express? And so for her, it's not just about, bags. Bags are cool. There's so much to it. And she was able to visit here when the show opened in April, and she loved it. And she has said that this installation means so much to her and that it was very thoughtfully curated. So I'm very pleased at the reception, not just from her, but all the people who've been able to see the exhibition.
That's incredible. That's so incredible, because I can only imagine just the thought process of having 300 bags and what do I do with them?
It was a little overwhelming, but we got through it. We did it.
Yeah, I love it. And just a little insight, I think that the world, the occupation of being a curator is just so interesting. Can you give us just a little bit of insight into maybe your process or your thought pattern when it comes to this?
Well, what I did in this gallery is a lot like what you're doing right now. You're producing something for an audience to experience. You want to tell a story. You want it to be a good story. You want it to make sense, and you want it to look good. And that's exactly what I was doing here. I have the material of the purses. I need to put them together coherently so that it makes sense to you. But I'm not giving everything away. You have to do a little bit of exploring, and there's also a little open-endedness there. You might draw different conclusions than I did, and that's okay. That's part of the fun. But my job is really about taking these really cool things and producing a meaningful experience for you.
I love that. And you're right, people have to do their own exploring, and they can do that by visiting this exhibit. So it's going to run through July 20th.
That's right.
And how can people get tickets?
Well, you can just come to the museum and buy at the door. So there's no burden there. Our prices are low. We have discount programs. If you're in need, free admission for military and their families. And I would just tell people, don't wait.
Yeah.
When these bags come down,
right,
I'm not putting them back up again. They're going back with the collector.
Yes.
This is the first time we've ever done anything like this.
Yeah.
And the first time Fort Wayne's ever seen anything like it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing, and
Yes.
thank you for bringing this creativity to our city.
Thank you, Jessica.
And if you would like more information about the Fort Wayne Museum of Arts, we'll have their website listed below. You have to come out and experience this exhibit for yourself. It's so cool to look at the creativity and just the different designs. You can really get inspired. Thank you so much for watching. And if you would like to catch up on episodes or segments of Living Local 15, just head over to WANE.com, download the WANE app, and also check us out on YouTube. And I'll leave you with this. It's never too late to live your best life, so start living it today. And I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow. Bye-bye. This segment sponsored by Fort Wayne Museum of Art.